I mean, this is just what everybody wants. To be honest with you, I mean, you're giving your fans exactly what they want.
It's our 40th anniversary, so
Yeah.
it was an opportunity to mark this milestone. And I thought about it a couple of years back.
Yeah.
And met with a guy named Gotham Chopra, who I know you know.
He's been here on this show,
Yeah.
and he is as good as they come, sir.
He really, truly is.
Yes.
I sought him out after seeing Man in the Arena.
He's Brady's guy, right?
Brady's guy.
Uh-huh.
And I just thought that his take on Tommy's story, compounded by, if you really think about what he did with the production value, think about all the way that they edited that piece.
Yeah.
So I met with him based on, I thought he understands team. So I think band can relate to the concept of team.
Yes.
And because of what I assumed was his family, association, he would have that spiritual aspect. So, i.e., family. And so I met with him. He was the first and only director I met with. And we started this journey 2 years ago.
Fantastic. And it's going to be on April 26th. Back here, the radio audience on the Rich Eisen Show. We just showed on the Roku channel a clip of Thank You, Goodnight, the Bon Jovi story, a 4-episode docuseries that premieres Friday night, April 26th on Hulu, which, of course, you can see right here on the Roku portal. The great Jon Bon Jovi is here in the 40 years.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, what if I told that kid from Jersey 40
I
years?
would never believe that.
Right?
I think when you're a kid and you get a record deal, you think the year 2000, just because it was such a big number.
Yeah.
And at that time, I was going to be 38. And I thought, if I'm 38, am I going to have a family? Am I going to still have a career? Where's my life going to be?
Right.
But I never would have jumped in 2024. I'm talking to you about a 40th anniversary and still making hit records. It's crazy.
So have you seen the full 4 episodes?
Not the final. I think the final, the last time I saw a cut was 4 or 5 months ago. It'll have changed, but not dramatically.
Right.
So
So
I stayed out of it.
you did.
I really did.
How long did you sit down for it?
Oh, God, repeatedly over the course of the 2 years. But I wasn't in the editing bay. I'm not a producer of the film, nothing like that. I had to give creative control to Gotham.
So, okay. So you sat.
Not
and
a
you were-
puff piece.
Not a puff piece. And you, so obviously, rest of the band sat down. Bruce sat down
Bruce,
as well.
Southside,
When was the first time you met Bruce Springsteen?
1979.
Where was it?
I was in a cover band. I was still in high school. And I was singing a song called The Promised Land by him.
Yeah.
And I turned around and he was at the microphone.
Come on.
And I was like, and someone has a picture of it. I mean, it's out there. So the first time I met him, I was literally in high school.
What do you mean he was standing? So you had no idea he was?
No, he was in the bar and he jumped up on stage and he sang the rest of his song with me. And, and then they kept an eye on what I was doing. And 3 years later, I wrote Runaway. I stopped playing other people's music. I was like, hey, wait a minute. I don't think I should be playing other people's music.
Right.
And I quit that cover band, which was my band. I became the lead singer in someone's original band to learn the craft. Short-lived, but nonetheless, it was a first foray. I started writing songs. 2 years later, you write Runaway, and then a year later, I have the same record deal 41 years later.
I just want to rewind a little bit because how did you just keep singing when Bruce Springsteen hops up and you're in high school and a cover
first
band?
of all, we were all fans, and in Asbury Park, the cute adage was there were 10 Asbury Jukes, 7 members of the E Street Band. You turn around, you're going to bump into one of them. They were always around, and so it wasn't an odd occurrence to see Southside or Bruce. Southside produced some of my first demos in 1980. I was still in high school.
Still in high school.
Yeah. Yeah, I was the kid. It was like, oh, yeah, there's that kid.
That kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, heck of a kid. No doubt about it. I mean, I just saw Bruce at the Forum the other night with my wife, who's a huge fan of yours as well.
Thank you.
And 74 and killing 3.5 hours.
Killing it.
He sounded the same.
He's unbelievable. Yeah, he's a specimen, that man.
Yeah. So why are we calling it Thank You, Goodnight? Why are we calling it that?
Well, I find it as a term of endearment, to be honest with you. Some will think that it sounds like it's the end, but it's really not.
Okay.
When I approach the microphone at the end of a night, I realize that those folks have given me 2 hours of their life, to which I say thank you. And then I wish them well into the good night. And I mean that emotionally on a nightly basis. It's not thank you, good night.
Right.
No. It's thank you for your time. Thank you for giving me 2 hours of your life to be here with me. And so... And there's also uncertainty because I've gone through reconstructive vocal cord surgery that I'm coming through. But nonetheless, it was a daunting 2 years.
Well, I mean, you do know that folks, when they hear "Thank You, Goodnight," that means the Bon Jovi story is over.
No,
like, that's the sense
it's
that they
anything
would get.
but. There's a new album coming in June.
Great.
The single is on the radio. It's called Legendary, and it's blowing up like big, the world over. And the reception to this documentary has been unbelievable.
And it's coming Friday, April 26th on Hulu. That's, you know, it's the second night of the NFL draft, John.
Well, it is the second night, so you
already know. You'll already know.
It is the second night.
You'll already know who the Patriots choose third overall.
My goodness, I don't have a clue right now. I don't have a clue.
Nobody does.
We need a lot. But there's a new energy in the building, so you know, it's just the beginning of a new era.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.